I'm Palomalu coming for the headshot kill. Do you like Lamar? And got me saying sorry, Miss Jackson. I'm sorry if you're missing that action by the legend Imari Jackson. Clean like a Sunday suit jacket. He be the real deal package. What I really mean to say is, ain't no off season.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to No Offseason Media, and I'm your host, Amari Sports. In today's video, we're going over the Week 6 picks as far as which I feel which teams will go over the course of this week. But before I get started, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and subscribe for more content available. And don't forget to click the notification bell in the bottom right corner to indicate and notify you when I post a new video. Anywho, let's get it started. In today's matchup, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Philadelphia to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Tampa Bay came off a win last week against the Miami Dolphins, and the Philadelphia Eagles came off an upset in Carolina against the Carolina Panthers. In this matchup, Vegas has the Buccaneers favored by 6.5. I'm actually going to take the Eagles with the 6.5, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still cover. Tom Brady has not really covered the spread in primetime games. And we saw last year when they played against the Saints and the Giants and other handful of teams, they haven't really performed well. And also with the Eagles is that their pass D is third best, and I just think that they'll try to contain the Buccaneers as much as they can as far as offensively when it comes to the passing. But think about it when it comes to the Buccaneers is that they can't stop the pass at all. And we've seen when they inserted Richard Sherman against the Dolphins, he played a little bit better, but when he saw against the Patriots 2 weeks prior, he didn't play really well. So I just think in this matchup, I like the Buccaneers here. The Buccaneers are the better team here. 31-27 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Next matchup is a game in London. We have the Miami Dolphins to go play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Miami Dolphins came off a loss against Tampa last week in Tampa Bay. And the Jacksonville Jaguars came with a loss at home against Tennessee Titans. The line here for favored by Vegas is the Dolphins with 4 points. I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game and to cover. Tua's coming back, which is going to help a lot for the Miami Dolphins. Just got pulled off IR as of right now as we just speak. And I think with the Jaguars, they don't have a very good offense or defense at all. So they're allowing a lot of people to score points on them. What could help the Jacksonville Jaguars win this game potentially if they just ride on James Robinson running this football. And I don't think that they're going to do that because I've seen this time and time again. I have James Robinson on fantasy and they never use him correctly because after they're down by, like, let's say they're up by a touchdown, they just abandon the run. I don't know why Urban Meyer does that. Now he's getting less media attention and I get that. But I just think the Jacksonville Jaguars are steering in the wrong direction. They don't know how to play particularly well in the past coming years. They don't know how to run the football in late game situations, not learning how to win. In this matchup, the Dolphins are the better team. They went on a 4-game losing skid. I just think that the Dolphins bounce back in London and take care of the Jaguars. I think the Miami Dolphins win this. Give me the Miami Dolphins to win this game and cover. Let's say Dolphins win 26-19 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington football team. Kansas City came off a loss against the Buffalo Bills last week on primetime, and the Washington football team came off a loss against the New Orleans Saints by 11 points. And in this matchup, Vegas favors the Chiefs by probably a touchdown, or they may even jump up. I like the Chiefs to win this game and to cover that. I don't like Taylor Heineke at all. I think that in this matchup, the Chiefs are the better team. Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes does not turn over the ball as much like he does in recent memory. I just think that this is way too much for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will just probably outright win against the Washington football team. I don't think that Washington will give a pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. So let me get the Chiefs to win, let's say more by a touchdown, let's say 33-25. Chiefs win and Chiefs cover. The next matchup is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Meadowlands to play the New York Giants. The Rams came off a win against the Seattle Seahawks on primetime on Thursday Night Football, and the Giants just came off a loss against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure if Daniel Jones is going to be playing this game. I know Saquon Barkley is not playing, and I know that Kenny Galladay is not playing. But the Rams here are favored by 10.5. I'm actually going to take the Rams to win this game and to cover. Too many injuries on the Giants. And I just think the Rams are going to get the ball rolling. And they saw that last week against the Seattle Seahawks. They did struggle in the first half. But I think that traveling all the way to the East Coast is actually really good for Sean McVay. Now, I do know that Sean McVay in the past couple of games has not really played well on the East Coast. Only when he got was Tampa, who eventually been the Super Bowl champions. But they lost over there to Buffalo and lost over to the East Coast against Miami. So give me the Rams to win this game. Let's say 34-16. Very quick pick. Not a lot of stuff to go off here. Mike Glenn is going to struggle. Give me the Rams to win this game and that woeful Giants offensive line to lose it. Next matchup, we have the divisional matchup. It is the Houston Texans traveling to Indianapolis to play the Indianapolis Colts. Houston Texans came off a loss against the New England Patriots, and they pretty much could have won that game, but they didn't. And then the Indianapolis Colts, in the same situation, was up on the Ravens, lost the game in overtime. And I just think in this matchup, the Vegas has the Colts favored by 9.5. I'm actually going to take Houston and the points with the 9.5. But I think the Colts still win it outright. It's because the Texans always play well in the first quarter, or even just the first half in general. And they did beat up on the Patriots a lot, but was that because that the Patriots defense is not really that well constructed and Davis Mills was able to do what he wanted to do? But let's analyze last game with the Texans. They went 4 on 4th down like so many times, and they converted. The Patriots are not really good when it comes to 3rd down and 4th down conversion. They just let quarterbacks eat them up alive as far as passing or even running the football with running backs. And I just think that when you're playing against this Colts team, who was completely deflated after they should have won the game of Baltimore, but they didn't, how will they bounce back? And I just think that it's going to be way too much. The Colts are going to be way too emotional about what happened last game, that they're going to try to keep this game a little bit closer. And I just think that the Colts will come out and win this game outright, but I think the 9.5 is just way too much. Start betting a little bit on Houston. I think Houston will come back and try to do the best they can to keep this game close, but I just really like the Colts here. Give me the Colts to win, let's say 27-20. Jonathan Taylor has a big game in this game. Next matchup is the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Motown to play the Detroit Lions. There's so many missed field goals, and the Detroit Lions came off a loss actually from a field goal from almost 50 yards or over. And in this matchup, the Bengals are favored by 3.5. I like the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game and to cover. The Detroit Lions, they keep finding ways to lose this game. We saw it against the Baltimore Ravens. It lost off a 66-yard NFL record field goal. And then we've seen that last week against the Minnesota Vikings, it lost of a 50-something yarder to lose the game, and they were in that game and could have won it out late. Same thing like the game against Baltimore, or even just San Francisco as well too. The games that really came close. But I just think with Cincinnati, they're ticked off. They wish they would have won that Green Bay game, show the world who they are. I think the world has put on notice how good this Bengals team is. I just think the Bengals coming to Motown is a very bad matchup for the Lions. The Lions don't really have a good defense, and Lions are able to contain with Kirk Cousins because he didn't have a very good running game because Dalvin Cook was out. So I just think the Bengals in this matchup in Motown wins this matchup anyways. Give me the Bengals to win this game and cover this 3.5 point spread. Give me the Bengals to win, let's say 31-16 over the Detroit Lions. Next matchup is another divisional matchup. We have the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Windy City to play the Chicago Bears. Green Bay came off a pretty much great win against the Cincinnati Bengals team that they should have won by more than 3 points but won in overtime. And the Chicago Bears, who came off a win against the Las Vegas Raiders, who I will get to later in this video. In this matchup, Las Vegas has the Packers favored by 5 points here. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to cover, but I think Green Bay still wins. And I think that the Green Bay Packers, with the loss of Jair Alexander, really hindered them last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think that with Chicago Bears, I think just keep throwing the ball to Allen Robinson, because I haven't seen him caught a pass with Justin Fields. I really haven't seen him in recent memory. I know as you watch NFL Red Zone, I really don't see Allen Robinson pop out on my screen when Justin Fields is out there on the field. But I just think that the Packers defense, they really struggle against mobile quarterbacks. I've seen those with Kyler, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson when he had no pieces around him, or even just we'll see with Lamar Jackson when the Packers play him later on in the year. And I just think in this matchup, the Chicago Bears defense is going to turn it up. They love when Justin Fields play because there's a whole new energy they never experienced before. Yes, they have Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, or even Andy Dalton, but they haven't really played hard for those players. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Justin Fields, they really like to play hard for Justin Fields and try to help him win the game. I think the Chicago defense will try to limit the Packers as much as possible. The Packers are too Devontae Adams reliant for him to have a big game just for them to win. We saw it last week against Cincinnati. If they were able to cover Devontae Adams, the Cincinnati Bengals would have won that game. But give me the Green Bay Packers to win this game in the Windy City. Packers win, let's say 24-20 over Chicago Bears, but failed to cover. Before I continue, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to comment and subscribe. More content available, and don't forget to click the notification bell in the bottom right corner to indicate and notify when I post a new video. But anyways, let's resume. We have a matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Los Angeles Chargers came off a thrilling win over the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens came off a thrilling win and a comeback against the Indianapolis Colts on primetime. And Vegas has the Ravens favored by 3 points over the Chargers. A lot of bettors like to take the Chargers and the points to win outright in Baltimore, but I'm taking the Ravens to win this game and to cover against the Chargers. The Chargers really are bad against the run defensively, and they just can't really get teams off the field when they run the ball really well. We've seen that last week against the Cleveland Browns. It wasn't for the Cleveland Browns choking that game away, I think the Browns would have won that game anyways. But the thing is, what we need to take away from that game is that Justin Herbert is amazing. Yes, he is. But that defense for the Chargers couldn't even stop the run at all. They let Nick Chubb run all over him. They let Kareem Hunt run all over him. Now you have a pocket quarterback in Baker Mayfield not able to move around the pocket. What is Lamar Jackson going to do this week? He's going to run the football, keep Justin Herbert on the sideline, and pretty much run this ball down the Chargers' throat because they can't stop the run. And if they can't stop the run, guess what? That clock is ticking. So I like the Ravens to win this game. I don't like the Chargers defensively against the run. Now the Ravens, how they've been handling this past couple games as far as when it comes to wide receivers, breaking off tight ends or whatever, I just think that it's not very good for the Ravens. But I think this game will be close. But I just like the Ravens to win this game outright because it's just like, the Chargers can't stop anything as far as when it comes to the run. So give me the Ravens to win this game over the Los Angeles Chargers. Ravens win, let's say 30-26 over the Chargers. Next matchup is the Minnesota Vikings traveling to North Carolina to play the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers came off an upset loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Minnesota Vikings came off of a 50-yard field goal to beat the Detroit Lions in Minneapolis. And in this matchup, Vegas has the Vikings favored by 1.5. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game and to cover. I don't like what I've seen from Sam Darnold. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey plays in this game. If Christian McCaffrey plays in this game, then I would be shifting to the Panthers side. But the Vikings, I think the Vikings will win this game because Dalvin Cook is coming back. That's going to help a lot to alleviate some pressure from Kirk Cousins. When Kirk Cousins doesn't have a running game, he completely struggles. We've seen that last week against the Detroit Lions, who that Lions defense is completely awful. I don't know how the Vikings only managed to score 19 points, but I just think the Vikings, with Dalvin Cook coming back, their bell cow back, is going to help the Minnesota Vikings come out and win this game. And also the thing about this is that when the Carolina Panthers allow a team to rush for a lot of yards, the defense tends to be broken. You know, like bend, don't break defense. Well, this defense broke. Whenever we saw Ezekiel Elliott rush for a lot of yards, the defense couldn't do anything, and they were just allowing the Cowboys to keep scoring and scoring and scoring. So that's the exact thing we're going to see with the Minnesota Vikings. So I think I like the Minnesota Vikings to win this game in Charlotte. Give me the Minnesota Vikings to win, let's say 27-19 over the Carolina Panthers, and they cover the spread. Let's get on to the late afternoon games. We have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Arizona came off a win against rookie quarterback, and the Cleveland Browns came off of a thrilling loss against the Los Angeles Chargers after blowing a 12-point lead to the Chargers. And in this matchup, Vegas has the Browns favored by 2.5. I'm actually going to take the Browns to win this game and to cover. When the Cardinals play the Niners, when it's very physical, they eventually don't perform well the next week. And I just think that they're getting a Cleveland team that's pissed off. They should right now they really should be 5-0, but they lost 2 heartbreaking games. I just think Cleveland's going to turn it on. Maybe Jadeveon Clowney comes back. But I just think in this matchup, the Cleveland Browns are the better team. Denzel Ward is out. What kind of makes me worry about this game? Denzel Ward's out. So how is DeAndre Hopkins going to favor against that matchup between the corners and the wide receivers? So I just think the Cleveland Browns in this matchup should win this game. On paper, they should win. But I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns anyways. I won't be surprised if the Cardinals win this game. Won't be surprised. But I'm going to take Cleveland on the safe side. Give me the Cleveland Browns to win 27-24 over the Arizona Cardinals, and they cover. We have a divisional matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. The Las Vegas Raiders came off of a loss to the Chicago Bears at home in Allegiant Stadium, and the Denver Broncos came off a loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Heinz Field. But we know what this game is all about, and I know we're looking at this as a regular Raiders and Broncos game. And in this matchup, it's very emotional for the Raiders. John Gruden has resigned as being the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of emails came out as very homophobic, cryptic, and very sexist comments. It's just, wow, all those emails that pretty much came out. Now they're doing a league investigation and stuff like that, but it's just too much. He had to resign. He was too much of a distraction, and it was a lot for the league to handle. Now we'll see how it happens with the NFL and what's going on, but I just think that the Raiders are going to be too emotional after this, losing their head coach. And I just think that it's pretty much a lot. That's all I have to say in that situation, but let's get back to the game. The Las Vegas Raiders playing against the Denver Broncos in Mile High. The Broncos are favored by 4 points with an emotional Raider team that you have to deal with. I just got to take the Denver Broncos in the 4 points. Very emotional. It's a lot of what's going on, and I just think that the Broncos will win this game outright. And I do like the defense of the Broncos. They did hold Pittsburgh to 27 points, but they did get rushed on by a lot by the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Raiders haven't been struggling against the rush. So I like to take Denver to win this game. And I just think that the Raiders are the most fraudulent team, even though they still had John Gruden. I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought they were a very fraudulent team. And so I just think that this Raiders team is very fraudulent, even though they're 3-2. They're not going to be a playoff team, even with Gruden at the helm. So give me the Denver Broncos to win this game. Let's say 24-17. Broncos win in Mile High over the Las Vegas Raiders. Next matchup, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots. The Dallas Cowboys came off a win against the New York Giants, and the New England Patriots came off a win against the Houston Texans. And in this matchup, the Vegas has the Cowboys favored by 4. In some places, you might get this at 3.5. I got the Cowboys win this game outright against the New England Patriots. It's a very bad spot for the Patriots. Even as a Patriot fan such as myself, you can see all this stuff behind me, all this gear and stuff. But I just think that the Cowboys are just too much matched for the Patriots, and I think the Patriots will struggle. I don't love Josh McDaniels. As a Patriot fan, I don't love Josh McDaniels. I just wish he could be fired or something because he doesn't know how to play call correctly. Mac Jones needs to be unleashed, and they're never unleashing him until last week against Houston because the entire pass defense of the Patriots was pretty much getting burned by Davis Mills. And the Dallas Cowboys look like the second best team in the league, even though they did lose to Tampa. I think the Dallas Cowboys, if we were to play again, probably would beat Tampa. That's just my opinion. So I think the Dallas Cowboys beat the New England Patriots at home. I think that the Patriots are a very bad team. In my opinion, just watching the games, don't love anything I see out of New England. So give me the Dallas Cowboys to win, let's say 27-17 over the New England Patriots. Let's go on to the primetime games. We have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks came off a loss against the Los Angeles Rams and has lost their quarterback for about 4 to 8 weeks in Russell Wilson. And in this matchup, Vegas has the Pittsburgh Steelers favored by 4.5. Some places you can get 5. I have the Steelers to win this game and to cover. Geno Smith has not really played as a starter in the NFL since 2017 when it was against the Raiders, when he was on the Giants, when they benched Eli Manning for some odd, absurd reason. But I just think that the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this game, and I think this is going to be too much for Geno to handle. And I know that the Seahawks are getting 10 days rest, so they have a little more time to prepare for Pittsburgh. But this Pittsburgh defense is starting to light it up now. TJ Watt is back, and they're starting to allow collapsing of this poor offensive lines. And we've seen that time and time again against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have really been suffocating poor offensive lines. Seattle's offensive line is a very poor offensive line. But what makes me want to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers is because the Seattle's defense is not that good. They're allowing like 400 whatever passing yards per game. And I know that Juju Smith-Schuster has just been diagnosed to be out for the year with a shoulder injury, but that's kind of might be a blessing in disguise. Deontay Johnson is very good. Chase Claypool is very good. James Washington is pretty good. And I just think that getting Juju out of the locker room will probably be beneficial because no more TikTok stuff. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will get down to business. I just think that in this matchup, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they'll beat the Seattle Seahawks. I don't see anybody on that defense except for Bobby Wagner having a very good game. Now they just got rid of their corner and Trey Flowers, so it's just too much stuff going to Seattle. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Seattle Seahawks more than a 4.5 point spread. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win, let's say 28-23. Pittsburgh wins over the Seahawks, and they cover the spread. Last matchup was a Monday Night Football matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. Buffalo came off a win in primetime against the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Tennessee Titans came off a win against the Jacksonville Jaguars on a regular 1 o'clock window. And in this matchup, Vegas has the Buffalo Bills favored by 5.5. It was at 4, then it jumped to 5, and then they're talking about even jumping it to 6. I just think that the Tennessee Titans win this game, upset the Buffalo Bills, and yes, I'm taking Tennessee as a spread as well too. The Tennessee Titans, we seen this game last year. Yeah, okay, it's a different Buffalo Bills and Tennessee Titan team. Yes, it is. But A.J. Brown is back. We've seen that last week. He was back last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But what does worry me about Buffalo is that they can't stop the run. And we've seen it against Kansas City. They weren't able to stop the run. And when they did stop it, Patrick Mahomes just kept turning over the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think that with the Tennessee, how they're solely their offenses, it's pretty much Derrick Henry dependent. And they can stop Derrick Henry. Maybe Ryan Tannehill throws the ball over him. But I don't think the Buffalo Bills can stop Derrick Henry because they weren't able to do it last year. And I think they weren't able to do it this year because Kansas City kept running the ball. And that's why the game was close until Patrick Mahomes started turning over the ball. And they weren't able to be patient because they wanted to get all these big yard home run touchdowns. And they weren't able to get it because the Buffalo Bills were just shutting them down. So I think the Tennessee Titans win this game in Nashville against the Buffalo Bills. I like Buffalo. I think they stole my Super Bowl pick, but I just like Tennessee in this matchup on Monday Night Football in front of fans, going against Josh Allen, who they pretty much demoralized last year. Just give me the Tennessee Titans. It's just an even matchup. I think this game will be very close. I think this game will be very high scoring. Tennessee wins, let's say 38-35 over the Buffalo Bills. But that's it for my game picks, my spread picks. I do like a couple of these teams, but as I said earlier, midway through the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and subscribe for more content available, and don't forget to click the notification bell in the bottom right corner to indicate and notify you when I post a new video. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. This is Amari Sports signing off. Stay safe out there. Peace.